welcome to the wake. I'm on Sunday. I apologize, right? This weekend has been super busy, right? Now, you guys know I had my leg done 6 weeks ago now. And it's just kind of like, it's the first weekend where I can actually go out and do stuff, I thought, without being hurt the next day. So, yesterday, guys may or may not know, I'm actually the chaplain for our scouting council here in Chester County, Pennsylvania. And we had our annual scout mass for the kids who got the religious medals, right? So I was doing that all day yesterday morning, right? Standing, working, helping the kids, blah, 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 right? Then that afternoon, my boys rugby team had their annual benefit, right? And what it is, there was a fellow on the team who was, one of the stars of the team years ago, and he ended up with ALS. So they have this benefit every year to help him and to help fight ALS and all that kind of stuff. And I got to spend all afternoon going into the night, right, cooking on the grill, standing again for another 4 hours. And trust me, today, I had a hard time getting out of bed. Just the knee was killing me. And today I still got my troop shirt on. Troop 52, baby, Super 52. I was at an Eagle Scout banquet for one of my Eagles. And let me tell you, this kid, more than deserving to get his Eagle, So, meanwhile, on Friday night, I was sitting around with all you guys watching The Refrigerator, right? Should be subtitled Portal to Hell, right? I love this movie. It was funny. It was satirical. It was just goofy, right? And I can't believe, I think it was $8 million to make this movie. And 90% of the movie was made in one room, in her apartment, right? Or their apartment. And let me tell you, man, I was just like this. It was. I will watch this movie again and again and again because it's just goofy, funny, right? And that's what the idea is. Watch a movie like this, I laughed. I laughed the whole movie, just like when they opened the refrigerator and it was like him, his father-in-law, right, and all that, and then like the box of pancakes, which I still think is who puts a box of pancake powder in the refrigerator? No one ever did that. Ever. Not on this planet. And I've been on this planet for 62 whole years. I know. But it was goofy ass, just full of funny one-liners, right? And then the flamenco dancer, right? And the whole time he's putting on the charm with her, but he's sitting back because he knows he's married, right? And then when the old man gets killed, right? And then that ending scene, everybody getting sucked in the refrigerator, and it's just like hysterical, right? Then the scene after that, right, where she's his eye candy for his flamenco act, right? She's his dance partner, and when they go back to the room and you see the guys cleaning the room, they did not look happy at all. At all. Oh my God. They were thoroughly disgusted, and they should be, because the room was just, it was exploded with body parts and crap from the crazy ass refrigerator, right? I only wish it was a microwave so we could have had Chris, the Professor Von Bross, on, right, doing it, because he does a show called The Haunted Microwave, and it would have been just perfect. I had to see him and John doing that. It would have been one-liners nonstop for the whole hour or whatever they make the. No, the movie was 88 minutes, so we had to do 32 minutes of us. Oh my God. I'm telling you guys, I'm tired. Long weekend. I don't know what it's going to be like when I go back to work, like actual work. Semi-retirement, guys. If you guys want to retire me, right, and pay my bills for the next 15 years, I would be happy, right? Then I could say I'm officially retired, right? Then we gotta like earn enough money to like feed Helen and me, but that's all, and pay the electricity, and the mortgage, and the heat. Nope, I'm going back to work. So, next week, right? We're back on Friday again, and we have Rituals. Rituals is a Canadian version of, like I said, Southern Comfort, right? Deliverance, right? And you will get a kick out of it, right? It's actually, it's funny. I made this quote, and I'm sticking to it. It's too good of a movie to be on our show, right? It was really, really good movie. And you guys are in for a treat, and I can't wait till we air it, right? And that's Rituals. I don't have the graphic on this computer, right? Notice I don't have the green screen up. I'm actually in the lair. And it was funny because on Wednesday night, I got interviewed by a horror podcast that's out of Chicago, right? And what a lot of fun, right? I've only done, for the horror bit, I mean, I've done podcasts and phone interviews and video interviews for my Hilldale project, right? First time I did one for me being, in the horror business. And it was a lot of fun. And I'm one of those people that I could just ramble on for hours at a time, right? And this guy, he would direct me in a certain way, and I'd answer like hell, right? And then he would stop me and direct me in another, and it was perfect, right? He asked like 5 questions, and the other part of the half hour, I just rambled on, talked all about the show, and the doc, and the boss, and the station, and everything we got going on, because we got to help promote. And if you saw at the end of our show, before Offbeat Cinema came on, our very first commercial is for it's a podcast, and they're horror hosts themselves on YouTube. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but the one girl's name in it, her name is Darby, which I loved. I was like, welcome, like the Darbarians welcome you to the station. But it was a lot of fun, right? And I was looking forward to it. And it was funny because I was talking to them. I got interviewed by another podcast that, they had sent me a thing, and I go in the interview, and I'm, I got my horns on, right? And I'm all set to go. And they're like looking at me like I had like 3 heads. They thought that like I owned a business, right? And I was going to go on talk about like, my business. And I'm like, no. And they were a company that's selling you stuff for your business. So it wasn't a podcast interview, it was more like a sales pitch, right? But I didn't know, right? So I come down there, I got my horns on, I'm like, ah! They're like, who the hell are you? And I'm like, who are you? You're the one that wanted me on your podcast. But, so, things I got coming up. So, next weekend, right, next Friday, we got Rituals, great movie, really, like, it's a really good movie. And if you guys want to watch, like, a movie that we have on that's actually good, you will enjoy this movie, okay? Now, next weekend, and I'm going to do a couple promos for this, is the Westchester Film Festival, right? And I got invited, I got my press pass, right? I got to go pick up, I had to pick up my press pass, and I have to talk to one of the ladies there. But Friday night they have a horror pop-up. I can't wait to go to that, right? And there's going to be like 5 or 6 horror shorts, right? It's in a coffee shop of all places. So I'll be like Offbeat Cinema, right? And then on Saturday they have a class where they're going to have a bunch of horror writers come in and talk about what it's like to get out there. Right? I can't wait, right? Hopefully I can interview some of these guys. Then on Sunday they have a class for actually writing scripts, right, which I could use some help with. Then after that, they have a cartoon fest, right, of shorts that were sent in. Can't wait for that. And that's going to be at this place called Beer Hall. It's a German, and beer restaurant, right, and the schnitzel is so good, right? And they have arcades, right? So I'm going to be like, I'm going to be watching cartoons on a Sunday afternoon, right? Be able to have a couple pops and, right, go play some video games. And they have a ton of pinball machines. I'm going to go broke. Just like I was 15 all over again, you know. So next weekend, I'm going to be doing a promo for Westchester Film Festival. If you live in the Philadelphia area, Westchester Film Festival is one of the premier film festivals in the area, and you will have a blast. They have stuff going from Thursday night straight till to Sunday night. So look for me. I'll be this guy in my vest, right? I'll be there with the press pass. Where's my press pass? Just look for this guy. Wait a minute. Look for this guy. Press pass. I'm fancy and schmancy now, ain't I? Alright. But, so, and I get, then after that, they'll go Horror Haven in the first weekend of June, and I'll do a promo for that, has their film fest. And I can't wait to go to that because most of the movies that we get that show up on our short fest come from that film festival, right? That's why I'm going to the Westchester one, hoping to pick up some for that. And, like, a couple feature films. Because I always end up meeting somebody at these events, has a movie they want to get out there, and I'm like, we can show it for you, right? And, it helps them, right? And a lot of other horror hosts watch our show, like I watch all their shows, right? And a few of the indies that we had on, right, those hosts ended up picking them up. Like Screamwalkers. We did that, and we did that early on, probably maybe like 8 months in. And we were the first horror show to host them, right? Then after we had it, Mr. Lobo had them, and the Monkey had them, and then we had Z Era, and I'm sorry, but guys, that movie's so bad, right? We had that on, right? And then the Mummy and the Monkey had that on about a month later. So, you know what I mean? So, much like we're watching their shows, right, looking for content, they're watching our shows, right? So if you get a movie that you put on our show, you will most likely have it appear on another horror hosted show. And the docket, so we have coming up in a month is our 100th episode, Plan 9 from Outer Space, right? With Bela Lugosi, Tor Johnson, Vampira, right? An all-star cast from the 50s. And, it's supposed to be one of the world's worst movies. It's not the worst. I think The Room is the worst, maybe because the guy just overacts out of his ass. Overacts like crazy. But that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to showing. Doc and I are looking forward to showing it to you. And then after that, we'll have our second anniversary show, and we have 2 movies, Tales of Dracula 1 and 2, right? They're independent movies. A friend of John, Doc, John Murray, the Doc, he got them on, and he has an interview and everything, so that's going to be our second anniversary show. And, we'll throw in a bunch of bits from our shows throughout the year. You know what I mean? So it'll be fun. Yeah, and that's about it, right? Other than the fact that I am extremely sore and tired, my allergies, if you guys have allergies, right, it's screaming out there today. Holy crap, if you're in the Philadelphia area, oh my goodness, I've been sneezing nonstop since this morning, right? And, which is even worse, right, when my sinus get filled, I just get sleepy and tired, right? But it's sleepy tired here, you know what I mean? It's not sleepy tired in my brain, so I lay down to go to sleep, and I'm just staring at it. Kind of all right, everybody practice. 1, 2, 3. That's how I feel. So, all right. I yapped that enough. I am going to go finish my beer, right? And it's a Pliny the Elder from Russian River in California. That the bar I go to had it on tap, and I go to a place called Pinocchio's, right? It's a pizza place in Media, Delaware County, right? Around where I grew up, and they have a beer store in the back, right? Now in Pennsylvania, we have the most bad alcohol laws, right? It's just ridiculous. Thank God, they're up in it. And they were one of the first bottle shops. In Pennsylvania, we never really had bottle shops, right? You go in there, you can buy individuals, 6-pack, and things like that. And then for the longest time, you couldn't buy an individual beer unless you were buying it from a bartender, right? Which was weird. But anyway, so they have events, right? And one of the events was they had a Russian River event. And where is it? Pinocchio's. Well, it's green. Here you go. They'll blur now. They had an event, and I got to get some Pliny the Elder to bring home. They didn't have any Pliny the Younger, which is like the top-rated beer like every year. I think it's pretty good. Right? I think it's really good. I don't think it's the best. Right? Like Fatheads, Hop Hunter, the best out of all. But not that I'm doing an ad for them. And Victory's my favorite, right? Victory Hop Devil Nitro is the best. Victory Hop Devil on tap regular, not so much. But so if you want to like send me a 6-pack, right? Say, hey Darbarian, let me send you a 6-pack. Hophead, or pardon me, Headhunter, right? Headhunter, Hop Jungle, right? You can give me any of the Plinies, Elder, Younger, right? And then Hop Devil, it's got to be a nitrous, just nitro, like Guinness. It's so smooth. I'm telling you. All right. Well, I gabbed at you enough. I'm actually going to go finish this beer and probably like take a nap and watch 60 Minutes and go to bed. What time is it? God, it's only 5:30. It feels like midnight. I swear to God. But all right, guys. So I'll be back tomorrow with the preview, and then I'll be working on Kurt from Chad and Bunny. I'll be working on that tomorrow. That's all I got for tomorrow. I'm working on that, and I'll have that cut up, and I'll send it back to you, and then we can talk, okay? And yeah. All right, well, Mad Darbarian for Cemetery Cinema, and Mad Darbarian Post-Apocalyptic Theater, and I'm out. See ya. This was The Win. Yeah, try to do one of those 70 cent off where you just kind of